So today we're going to take a look at OpTic versus DRX, which I think is a game of the year contender, an absolute banger of a series between these two sides. Very close throughout, well, certainly the last two maps, but very high quality Valorant played throughout, and it was thoroughly enjoyable to watch. And I actually had difficulties picking what map I wanted to analyze because the level of gameplay was so high across the three different maps, and crazy things happened in all three of them. So yeah. I decided on Icebox eventually, and the reason I decided on Icebox is because you don't often get an interesting Icebox for the most part, but I think some of the things particularly OpTic did on their attack side was very interesting, and so I wanted to take a look at some of that, but I also wanted to take a look at this, which is the DRX strat is what I will call it, because they have run it now on both of their games prior on Icebox, and they also tried it here against OpTic as well. And the DRX strat, if you aren't aware, is basically the Jett is going to have the spike, the Jett is going to run down here, she's going to updraft, dash, and just plant on the higher level here behind this box with a smoke there, and just get the spike down. And then some people are going to go in kitchen here. They're going to sage wall this off so that they can cross safely. They're going to get in kitchen. They're going to get the spike down and basically play a post plant from there and do it all very, very fast and go from there. And well, the problem is that they had done this in their first two games against OpTic, in their first two games that weren't against OpTic on Icebox. And so OpTic obviously had watched that and understood what to do, because what's going to happen is the Viper is basically just going to sit on the other side of that box, wait for the spike to be tapped, and then kill the Jett. And from there, really, the round is over. So you can see as this strat starts to come in and OpTic realize, you can see that very quickly the players already take their positions. You can see here that the KO has already rotated into kitchen. He knows that that is a very important part of this, and the Viper is in position ready to get to the box. You can see the Sage as well has completely left B main and is focusing on mid as well. So you could see that OpTic were very, very prepared for this strategy and what was going to go on. So there goes Buzz. He's going to try and get the spike down, but as I said, the Viper is right there. And now really the round is kind of over because no one else can plant the spike, and they mop them up very, very fast and end up with a round win. But now let's come to round number 11. And in this one, the difference is going to be the time, because if we take a look at the map, there's 38 seconds left, and as you can see, DRX are looking like they're going to go for this A hit. And everything looks pretty normal. You can see the OpTic kind of know that it's an A hit as well. That's what they believe. But the thing is, side of DRX, they don't have great guns in this round, and what's about to happen is the side of OpTic are about to pop their KO ult. There it goes. And so the KO ult comes out, and they decide, well, with no utility available to us, and now you know, with no guns either, there's no way we're getting into this site. So the difference is this time, what they're going to do is they're going to rotate off. The thing is, though, they know that they have all of the utility available to run that same strat and to get the spike down there. The difference is this time, of course, is OpTic aren't expecting it this time, because any time that they'd run it before DRX, it had been in that first tempo. It had been, you know, as soon as the barrier dropped down, you know, they go for it straight away. This time, because it's coming in so much later, the side of OpTic have never seen DRX do this, and that's why it works, right? And I do think that this will be kind of the next step in professional Valorant play, will be just this, right? These kind of extra layers to strats, and realizing DRX don't have to always do this at the first tempo. You know, as long as they keep the necessary utility of the Sage Wall and a Jett Smoke, an Updraft, and a Dash, as long as they have that utility, they can run this strat pretty much at any time they want. And I think that that will be the key difference as we go forward, is because teams now have strats and they have certain things that they like to do. But I think that this kind of extra layer of, you know, being able to adapt your strats and make things look like other things, you know, and fake out your opponent more, I think that that will be kind of the next step in Valorant's development. And you can see here, even on a save, because they got that spike down and because the strat was able to work, they're able to win on an eco round here, DRX. But now let's come to OpTic's attack side, and I think that FNS, you know, he does get some stick for, you know, maybe not always fragging out and things like that, but I legitimately think that without FNS, OpTic don't win this series. I think they needed all of his experience, and some of his mid calls here and his ideas allowed OpTic to win this map, and therefore, you know, go on and win the series as well. And this round number 16, is a good example of it. What's going to happen here is they're just going to push towards mid. They've got the Sova here. This is kind of a classic one that a lot of teams like to do, where if you're going mid, you have your Sova over here. The Sova's going to pinch from B main, yeah, you're going to plant the spike and go from there. And so that's what they're going to try and do. They also have a KO flash for FNS here as he comes through. He does get a bit lucky because he is a bit far ahead of the team. So if Mako's able to hit that shot, they could have been in trouble. But yeah, they start to flood in through mid. And it gets a bit chaotic, as it does any time that a team does this on Icebox, because people aren't used to fighting in this area. It's not a very common thing that you see. So kills just go back and forth for a little while here, and people don't know exactly where to look, as you will see, because Marv gets one, and you can see there that Buzz is confused. Did that come from Kitchen, or where is that from? And the kills start coming in, the trades start coming in, but eventually what we're going to end up with is this 3v2, okay? And this 3v2 is the important thing, because what's happened here, or what's about to happen, I should say, is FNS is about to wall off this, okay? And that wall kind of suggests like, oh, they're going to plant the spike here, right? But the important thing to note here is Victor on the KO. He's going to continue to sort of chase down this Sage for a while towards this A site. And again, it's all about FNS and his calling here, because that's what's going to win in this round. So here we go. You can see there, he puts up the wall, and you can see that they just, you know, believe it's a B hit. And they have every right to believe it's a B hit. But as you can see, the KO has walked all the way around. And so FNS makes the decision, okay, well, A site should be clear. You know, there's no way someone else is just sitting on A. And now look at these little ratty positions they're able to get into. I mean, the KO is literally in their spawn. And also you got this Sova in this little ratty angle here. Now the Sova actually gets a bit lucky that he's able to win that fight there, Crashies. So, you know, that was a bit of a close one. But now the round is unwinnable, and RB just has to save, because he has no idea where these players could be. They could literally be anywhere on the map. And so he can't really afford the risk, because there's no way he can check every single corner. He does actually end up finding Crashies, but, you know, the spike's on the other side of the map. So, yeah, there was no way he was ever going to win that round. And I just thought, again, that mid-core, that understanding from FNS and being able to slow it down after everything had been so chaotic and make the right choice there was a very good one. And now let's come to the very next round, and I think a lot of people might agree that this might have been the round that won OpTic this map, because it's an absurd round. You can see that the side of DRX, they're actually on a save here. Well, something crazy is going to happen. It starts here with Marv on this Viper in mid, and the dart comes in, he gets revealed by it, he doesn't shoot it, and he probably a bit frustrated that, you know, he missed the dart and whatever. Not really thinking at this point, but the problem that he's going to have is the Jet is already here, you know. The Buzz here has clearly probably updrafted and dashed into this spot and got very, very aggressive. And so what's going to happen is, as he continues to just walk back here, he's going to die to the Jet, who's all the way pushed up already. Absolutely insane. So that's exactly what's going to happen. There you go. And he's dead. But what the side of OpTic are going to do, they're just going to make this a B push, right? And last time I showed you a pretty clean round from them, or some good decisions. This time they're going to make some more questionable decisions, I think. And I think they're going to, you know, their kind of confidence is going to overcome them here, because whilst Ye is able to get that first kill, and I understand they have the Victor, they have the KO ult here as well. But the thing is, they're against an eco, but you can see they all kind of have one lane, right? And okay, that's like something that I guess you could do. But against an eco, you know, where the other team have sheriffs most likely, it's a very risky strategy to pull off here, because no one is tradable, right? There's no way any of you are trading, and they only have sheriffs. So if they do one tap you, you know, well, you probably just gave them a gun and you aren't able to trade, and that is exactly what's going to happen. And in this instance, they probably should be playing much safer. You can tell they were probably, you know, feeling themselves maybe a little too much here, thinking, oh, we're just going to get eco frags and be fine, because what's going to happen is, eventually, as DRX start to group up and start this retake, they're very aware. And Stacks here, this is an absurd play. He's very aware that someone might be there. He flashes Jay and gets a kill. And then as he's going for the gun, Victor tries to trade, right? But of course, they're not close enough to actually trade. So, you know, he's able to get another kill. And things are looking bleak at this point. Now, something very interesting happened here before, because 3 members of DRX had grouped up on this body to make sure that they could recover the gun. And the Sova had actually come here on the side of DRX. So the DRX Sova had come here and droned out and droned this area, but hadn't seen Crashies here, who was just hiding in here instead. So he'd managed to avoid the Sova drone, but then noticed that the Sova didn't push any further, right? So at that point, he decided, oh, the Sova must have gone back mid. So he decides then to reflank them through mid, which is a very good idea. Now, the problem is he has here is he whiffs. He whiffs pretty bad, and he isn't able to get that kill. And so all of a sudden, it's a 4v2. And the thing is, FNS also gets his head taken off by Zest. So he decides, last resort, he has to Sova ult this spike. Which is the correct choice. You know, he knows he's probably pretty safe from anyone being close to him. And so he decides to Sova ult the spike. And now DRX make a mistake. Because on the side of DRX, you have multiple players here who can tank one hit from this Sova ult. No problem. You can take a hit from this Sova ult. And all you have to do is get it to half. And they don't. And they're scared. And I don't know why. And the thing is, they do start to stick the defuse. The problem is, it's 0.04 seconds too late. Which is absurd. It's absolutely absurd, of course. But if they had just stuck, you know, one person had just stuck it to half, then they would have won the round. And I'm sure I guess they just thought that they had enough time, but this will haunt them, I'm sure, this round, because they definitely should have won this round. And that might have just carried them through to be able to win this map. Now let's come to my favorite round of all, and that is round number 20. And if we just take a look at the certain things that's going to happen here on the map, this is going to be an insane fake. And I really love it from the side of OpTic here, because what's going to happen is we got this KO knife here. And Ye is going to be able to avoid it, and so it spots no one. And then we get this Sova dart in mid, and no one is seen by it. Okay, and we have a Sova dart from the side of OpTic on towards the A site. We have a KO knife towards this A site as well, and the KO is about to ult. And what I love about this is that anytime a KO ults, or a lot of the time the KO ults, is a team will just decide, oh, let's just play retake, right? It's not worth it with no utility and whatnot to try and fight this, so they just let him in. And so the thing is, the KO is able to walk up on A, but because everyone is pushed out and they can't actually see what's going on site, they don't realize it's a fake. And I think that more and more teams should start to implement this on pretty much every map that KO has played, because anytime someone KO ults, a lot of teams will just back off and give you the site and wait till the KO ult is gone and then play retake. And so the thing is, you can't know that it's a fake because you can't actually see how many people are on site. And that's what makes it so great. So you'll see exactly what I'm saying here. Is the KO ult is about to come in, and you can see the side, they start to rotate towards it, but back off, and they let the spike go down. You also get a Sova dart in here as well, just to add into it, and you've got the Viper wall. But you can see where these players are. You've already got two people in mid. Here's the thing, you're going to get the Sova trying to, you know, threaten a flank here, but the OpTic Sova is more than ready for it. And ready for people to be in weird positions. And so this round is just absolutely absurd, because we're going to get this fight between the Sovas, and Crashies is able to win it. But then here's the thing, you know, the side of the DRX players, they don't know what's going on. You know, like, why is the Sova here? Where is he going? Is he going this way? Is he just late coming to this way? Was he trying to come around us on this big flank? You know, they don't really know, and you can kind of tell that they still think it's A, but they've taken a couple steps away, almost as if what's going on. And then you've got Marved in this position though, and you can see he just gets a free kill. Now the thing is that Marved, and I guess they don't expect, is that Buzz was still on this B site, and he's able to get not one but 2 kills. But the thing that's going to happen next is, well, yeah, you get that kill in the spawn, because yeah, you've got the KO sitting here ready for this cross back, and so that's 1 extra kill on the side of OpTic. And so we end up in the 3v2, and I just want you to watch Buzz now. He has no idea where to go. He looks in like a million different positions of where to go, because he has no idea where anyone is, and FNS is able to kill him. And this round was just pure chaos. DRX had no idea what was going on at all, just because they ran a KO fake completely on his own and trusted that DRX would fall back off the KO and not know that it was a fake until it was way too late. And now let's come to round 22, and what I want to show you here is that it doesn't take much to run a fake in Valorant, and I'm surprised more teams don't run more fakes, because this is a good example of it really doesn't take that much to convince a team, as long as, you know, you don't give them too much information. It doesn't take much, because what's going to happen is we're going to start off with this little mid push from the side of OpTic, and it's spotted out, and they decide to retreat away. Now, on the side of DRX, they have decided to, you know, oh, there seems to be multiple people in mid. You know, they're going to try and maybe re-aggress and take that space back and not give it up too easy. But the side of OpTic have decided to go A. But as I said, it's not going to take much to create this fake, because all that's going to come in is this Sova dart here. And whilst that was going on, we get one Sova dart, and we get this kill from Marved here in the tunnel again on RB, trying to reaggress through mid. And just based off those 2 bits of information, I think they believe that this is a B hit. And so that's exactly what you're going to see, is that they start to kind of believe that this is a B hit. You can see they completely leave the A site. They're very worried about this Viper. They do start fighting with the Viper. They even find the kill on this Viper. The thing is, the Spike's already on A, and they have absolutely no idea. You can tell Mako has no idea that they would be on A or anything like that. And so just with a dart and one person, they'd managed to completely convince them that it was actually a B hit. And obviously that wasn't the case at all. So here we go. You can see that the side of OpTic, they are going to get the Spike down. And as we run this forward, they're going to just play some clean trades here on the side. Victor's going to get off a nice nade, and he's also going to get a nice kill on the Jet on Buzz, trying something a bit risky here, because Buzz is going to pull out his shorty and try and take his head off. But very nice kill from Victor. But again, the trades come in from both sides, but eventually it ends up in this 2v1, and Ye is able to find a nice little position to be able to kill off Stex and win the round. And ultimately, OpTic would go on and win not just this map, but then also the game in an overtime in split. An absurd series played by both sides, very well played by both sides. Wouldn't be surprised if this ended up being the grand final either, although Loud also looked really good yesterday. So it'll be very tight between those teams, I think. But we'll have to see.